happy little family was made up of me, Tucker, 29, professional diaper changer and part-time referee, my wife, Ariana, 28, part-time dreamer, full-time complainer, and our 6-year-old twin boys, Freddie and Jason. Yes, we named them after horror icons. No, it wasn't a mistake. At least if they ever get into trouble at school, the teacher already has low expectations. Now, Ariana's pregnancy wasn't planned. It was more of a surprise. Guess who forgot the condom that one time? Kind of deal. We decided to make it work, though. Got married before the kids were born, because nothing says romance like shotgun vows and swollen ankles. Was it hard to suddenly adjust to life as parents when we were basically still kids ourselves? Oh, absolutely. Imagine playing house, except the stove really does catch fire and someone keeps peeing on the carpet. Only it's not the dog, it's your children. But we pulled through, and honestly, I don't regret it. Freddie and Jason are great kids. Chaotic, yes. Destructive, yes. Loud enough to be classified as a natural disaster, yes. But still great kids. I can't imagine life without them. Ariana, however, she apparently can. Sometimes she'd sigh dramatically, flop on the couch like a Shakespearean actress, and groan. Ugh, I wish we could just have a few days without them. I'd shrug and say, that's called school, Ariana. Monday through Friday, 8 to 3. It exists. Look it up. She'd roll her eyes. No, I mean really without them. Like just us. No responsibility. No sticky fingers touching me. I figured that was normal. Parents need a break sometimes. Doesn't mean you don't love your kids. And she never said it in front of Freddie and Jason, so I thought it was harmless. Turns out, she actually meant it. Over the past year, it's gotten worse. She started to complain about how she wants to do so much with her life. I want to travel. I want to experience new things, she said one night, glass of wine in hand like she was auditioning for a midlife crisis commercial. Now I'll never get the chance because I'm a mom. I told her, that's not true. Plenty of parents still travel. You can take a plane with kids. They don't explode at high altitude. Sure, you'll annoy the entire cabin when Jason screams because his peanuts aren't organic. But hey, memories. She shook her head. It's not the same. By the time they're old enough to stay home, I'll be too old. My youth will be gone. I tried again. You'll be in your 30s, not 90. You don't need a walker to board a flight at 35, Ariana. They don't check your birth certificate at the gate. But she just sighed, stared off like she was in a music video, and said she wanted to enjoy her youth. I thought all of that was just talk. I didn't realize how much she meant what she said, or how far she was ready to go to feel young again. That changed the night Ariana sat me down with that serious face people make when they're about to tell you either that they crashed your car or joined a cult. She looked me dead in the eyes and said, Tucker, I need to discover myself. I raised an eyebrow. What? Like Dora the Explorer? Should I buy you a backpack and a talking map? She didn't laugh. Figures. Then she said the thing. The kids stole my youth. Now, I'll admit, that one stung a bit. I mean, Freddie and Jason can definitely steal things. My phone, my snacks, my sanity. But her youth? That seemed above their pay grade. Still, I told her I understood why she felt that way. I tried the whole calm, supportive husband thing. I told her that having the kids was fulfilling in its own way. I said, look, I get it. We used to party when we were younger, but honestly, this is better. No hangovers. No waking up on a stranger's couch. No wondering if that tattoo is spelled correctly. She just rolled her eyes and dismissed me like I was background noise. That's easy for you to say. You're a man. You didn't make sacrifices like I did. Oh good. We were doing this again. I bit my tongue, but man, it was hard. Sure, she carried the twins, and yeah, that wasn't exactly a walk in the park. It was more like a walk up Mount Everest while carrying groceries. But me? I'd been in the trenches too. Midnight bottle feedings, 3 a.m. diaper blowouts, the kind of sleep deprivation that makes you hallucinate Teletubbies in your living room. I might not have given birth, but I sure as hell gave up a lot. Of course, she never acknowledged that. Not once. I said, you know, it wasn't exactly easy for me either. I didn't just get to keep my life on pause while you did all the hard stuff. She waved her hand like she was dismissing a waiter. You don't get it. I need to find out who I am. Now, silly me. I thought that meant she wanted to pick up yoga or maybe start painting again. Maybe even take a solo trip to one of those yoga retreat/wine festivals that suburban moms rave about on Instagram. But nope. Silly Tucker. She meant something else entirely. She looked me square in the eye and said, I've been seeing someone else. He's helping me understand what I've been missing in my life. He sees me as a woman, not just as a mom and a wife. Excuse me, what? I just sat there staring at her, waiting for the punchline, waiting for her to laugh and say, huh, gotcha. You should have seen your face. But no, dead serious. I blinked at her. So, when you said you needed to discover yourself, what you really meant was you needed to discover someone else's pants. She didn't even flinch. Just kept talking, casual as you like, while my brain was doing error messages. She said she loved the kids, thank God for small mercies, but she regretted getting married so early. And then she hit me with it. She wished she'd given herself more time to explore her options. So I pointed out the obvious. Ariana, what you're basically saying here is that you regret marrying me and wish you had more time to sleep around. And since you couldn't do it back then, you've just decided, hey, why not do it now? Very retroactive of you. She immediately shook her head like I was the crazy one. It's not like that. This is about finding my true self. About self-growth. I blinked. Self-growth? Really? That's what we're calling adultery these days. Because if that's the case, half the people on Tinder must be enlightened monks by now. She leaned in, all serious and misty-eyed, and promised, I'll be back if you just wait for me. I couldn't help it. I actually laughed. Full-on scoffed right in her face. Wait for you. Ariana, I'm not a dog tied to a post outside Starbucks. I'm not sitting here wagging my tail while you're off soul-searching in someone else's bed. No thanks. I laid it out for her. I'm not going to stop you from leaving. Honestly, why would I? Especially since, little reminder here, you cheated on me. Just make sure it's worth it, because congratulations, you've just blown up a happy family. Hope the enlightenment comes with dental, because it's going to cost you. She sighed that long, exasperated sigh she does when she thinks she's the protagonist in a tragic French film. Then she looked at me like I'd just said something absurd. See, Tucker, you're putting the kids first again. It's time for me to put myself first instead. Oh, excuse me, Your Majesty. My bad for prioritizing the actual human beings we created together over your spiritual gap year. And just like that, she packed up and left the house the same day. I swear, I was still in shock watching her walk out. What kind of mother just turns her back on her kids like she's returning shoes to the mall? Freddie and Jason keep asking when their mom's coming back, and I've been telling them she's visiting a friend. Because how exactly do you tell two 6-year-olds that their mother left them because she missed partying and sleeping around? What's that conversation supposed to sound like? Hey boys, remember how mom used to read you bedtime stories? Well, now she's out there living her best life at Coachella with Chad. I hate her for this. I hate her for breaking up with me. I hate her for hurting the kids like this. She blew our lives apart like it was nothing. And of course, she won't be the one left to deal with the fallout. Nope, that's on me. I'm the one stuck here picking up the pieces while she's off chasing her fantasy. And just to state the obvious, I probably don't need to tell you that I'm getting a divorce. No self-respecting man would stay married to her after that shameful display of hers. Of course, I was the one who had to file for divorce. Naturally, Ariana wasn't even in the country at the time, too busy discovering herself somewhere with Wi-Fi and cocktails, and I had to sit around twiddling my thumbs until she got back so she could be served. Imagine that. Me, at home with 2 kids who think mac and cheese is a food group, while she's out there living like a contestant on The Bachelor World Tour. By the time the papers were in motion, she'd already started taking trips and living her new fun mom, but without the mom part lifestyle. 2 very confused, very hurt children at home? Oh well, not her problem. Apparently motherhood has an off switch. Look, I don't even care anymore what she's done to me. That's background noise. My concern is Freddie and Jason. I had to sit them down for the difficult conversation. You know, the one every parent dreads. I said, boys, things are going to be a little different now. We're not all going to live together anymore. Of course, they asked the big question. Why? And man, I was itching to unload the truth. I wanted to blurt out, because your mom cares more about bottomless mimosas and some dude named Greg than she does about you. But no, too much for a couple of 6-year-olds to carry. Instead, I swallowed the sarcasm for once in my life and kept it simple. I told them, sometimes moms and dads can't live together anymore, but it's not your fault. Not even a little bit. Because the one thing I refuse to do is poison their minds against her, even if she earned it. They don't need to grow up thinking they were somehow the reason she bolted. They'll figure out her irresponsible free spirit phase on their own someday. Probably when she misses their high school graduation, because Coachella had a reunion lineup. My goal in this split is simple. Full custody of the kids, the house, and whatever else will help raise them without disruption. My lawyer's been patting me on the back, telling me I've got a solid case because, surprise, surprise, Ariana basically abandoned them. Hard to argue with a flight log full of tropical destinations and a text record of sorry, can't make it, yoga retreat. And honestly, she doesn't even pretend to be interested in raising them anymore. She's only been over to see them a few times since she left. The first time she asked to come, I didn't want to let her in. My gut reaction was, nope, you made your bed, now go lie in it with whatever guy's occupying the other half. But I knew it was what was best for the kids, so I gritted my teeth and opened the door. She stuck around for about 2 hours before she left. The kids were excited when she showed up that first time. They practically launched themselves at her like puppies who hadn't seen their owner in weeks. And then, 2 hours later, when she left, heartbroken, full meltdown, tears, wails, the works. It was like trying to console two miniature opera singers. I couldn't get them to stop crying, and honestly, it hurt so much that in that moment I thought, that's it. She's not coming back. Ever. But then my lawyer, Mr. Buzzkill ESQ, had to remind me, legally, Tucker, you can't just withhold access. That would look bad in court. I wanted to say, yeah, but does the court care about me mopping up 6-year-old snot puddles for 3 hours straight? Because that's what happens every time she breezes in and out like Mary Poppins without the umbrella. But I knew he was right, so I swallowed it and let her come around again. The second visit was even worse. She stayed maybe 40 minutes. 40. Didn't even make it through a Lunchables with them. Jason actually held up a juice box and asked, Mom, are you staying for lunch? She gave some lame excuse about needing to go and slipped out before I could even open my mouth. After she left, Freddie asked, will she be back tomorrow? And I just stood there thinking, kid, tomorrow? She won't even be back before your juice box goes bad. But out loud I just said, we'll see, buddy. Because what else can you say? Your mom's on tour with Boy Toy 3000. At that point, I started keeping a log of her visits online. Date, time, duration, notes about what actually happened. Exhibit A, 2 hours. Kids cried when she left. Exhibit B, 40 minutes. Didn't stay for lunch. Kids devastated. My lawyer has full access to it. Honestly, I should start charging admission. It's better reading than half the stuff on Netflix. I also log the visits she misses, too. Because oh boy, there are plenty. Every time she promises she'll come by, and then cancels at the last minute because of some work-related emergency. Sure, work. So I go through her social media afterward like a detective in sweatpants, piecing together the real story. Funny how work emergency translates to tagged in an Instagram story at a pool party. Or a photo dump, beach day with Bae. From what I can put together, she's been traveling with Captain Youth Serum, the guy she left me for. He looks like he's barely legal to rent a car. If I had to guess, I'd say he's 22. Which, conveniently, is about the exact age Ariana's trying to cosplay again. It's sad. Honestly, I'm not tracking her out of jealousy or heartbreak. No, I'm not sitting here crying into my pillow while she's off with Youngblood McGee. I just want the receipts, the screenshots, the digital breadcrumbs. I want all the ammo I can use against her to make sure I won custody. The evidence was everywhere. Pictures of Ariana on the beach holding drinks the size of fishbowls, grinning like a spring breaker. Videos of her partying in dark clubs with strobe lights and some DJ who looked like he hadn't showered since 2015. Meanwhile, I'm at home negotiating with Freddie and Jason about why Pop-Tarts don't count as dinner. The divorce proceedings kept moving forward, but she had the audacity, the actual gall, to fight me for custody. Which, I'll admit, is frustrating. Like, lady, you can't fight for custody when you're out here fighting for your place on the VIP list. She claimed she still wanted to be their mother, but, I mean, show me the receipts. If disappearing on your kids like a magician counts as motherhood, then sure, she's nailing it. My lawyer kept assuring me, you have nothing to worry about, Tucker. Her absence and lack of consistent contact make it nearly impossible for her to win. I trusted him. He's the professional, but I won't lie. I still had sleepless nights. I'd be lying awake at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling, stressing over every scenario. What if Ariana suddenly put on her best mom ever act in front of the judge? You know, show up with a casserole and a Pinterest board titled Motherhood Goals. One night, I even spiraled into paranoia, thinking she might claim I was keeping her from seeing the kids. But nope, I was prepared. I had evidence stacked higher than the twins' Lego towers. Every missed visit, every flimsy excuse, every hangover hidden behind sunglasses. It was all there, neatly documented. I even had character witnesses lined up. One of them was her own friend, who flat out told me she thought Ariana's behavior was disgusting. Let me tell you, nothing boosts your confidence like hearing, yeah, she's awful from someone on her own team. Because at the end of the day, Freddie and Jason are my world now. I'll do whatever it takes to keep them safe and give them the life they deserve. Right now, I'm the only parent actually showing up to do the job. Then came the custody hearing. Oh boy, I can say without hesitation, I have never been more stressed in my life. In the days leading up to it, I agonized over every detail, double-checked my notes, triple-checked my log, and made sure I hadn't missed anything. My lawyer reassured me. Tucker, you are as ready as anyone can be. Still, when I walked into that courtroom, my heart was doing jumping jacks. And then Ariana's lawyer got up and gave their big speech. He actually said, without bursting into laughter, that Ariana had been taking time to work on herself so she could show up as a fully present mother. I almost choked. Oh yes, of course. Shots of tequila on the beach, self-care, grinding on 20-somethings in a nightclub, therapy. Apparently, binge partying is the new meditation. They tried to package her world tour of irresponsibility as some kind of spiritual growth retreat. It was ridiculous. When it was my turn, my lawyer came out swinging. He laid out all my evidence like he was presenting a true crime documentary to the judge. Exhibit A, Ariana's greatest hits of I'll be there followed by oops, no I won't. Exhibit B, the social media screenshots, where she was supposedly working but somehow managed to teleport to Ariana. Yeah, I know. She didn't even bother making her lies creative. If you're gonna ditch your kids, at least pretend you're volunteering at a soup kitchen or rescuing kittens from trees. But no, not Ariana. She's out sipping cocktails with hashtags while I'm juggling twins and diapers. My lawyer, God bless him, looked at the judge and said, Your Honor, this is a pattern of unreliability. I swear, even the judge's eyebrows were like, yeah, no kidding. The judge gave her the whole speech about how kids need stability and how she couldn't exactly be trusted to show up. I almost expected him to hand her a gold star that said world's most inconsistent parent. Ariana looked shocked, like this was some big plot twist in a soap opera. She really thought she was about to walk away with joint custody, like she'd been Mother of the Year. Instead, she got visitation rights and a reality check. She didn't say a single word to me afterward. Just stormed out of the courthouse like she was making her dramatic exit on a telenovela. I half expected background music and slow clapping. Meanwhile, I sat there trying not to cry out of sheer relief. Losing my kids had been my biggest fear since the divorce talk started, and for once, the system actually worked. Honestly, I wanted to fist bump the judge. Fast forward. Ariana, shocker of the century, hasn't been consistent with her visits. Month 1, she made all of them, probably still trying to save face. Month 2, down to 2 visits. Month 3, just 1. By then, even the kids weren't surprised anymore. My son Freddie is a hopeful optimist. Poor kid. He circles visitation days on the calendar like it's Christmas morning. He'll pack a little bag, brush his hair, sit by the window, and wait. And wait. And you guessed it, wait some more. Then, when the inevitable happens, when Ariana pulls another disappearing act, he breaks down in tears that could win an Oscar for most heart-wrenching performance by a 7-year-old. He cries so hard, I'm half tempted to call FEMA for disaster relief. Jason, on the other hand, he's the realist in the family. He cried the first few times too, but after that, he wised up. He figured out the pattern faster than a Vegas card counter. Now when she doesn't show, he doesn't even cry. He just shuts down, gets all moody, stomps around like a teenager who just had his Wi-Fi unplugged. But unlike Freddie, he doesn't even complain anymore. He's like, yep, that's mom. Same as always. The funniest thing, though, looks like Ariana isn't even traveling as much these days. I still keep tabs on her social media, because, let's be honest, I need documentation. You never know when screenshots will come in handy. But suddenly she's gone quiet. Not posting her fancy trips, not flexing her cocktails on a beach in Cabo. Maybe she's taking a break. Maybe she finally realized that posting her margarita selfies while she's supposed to be tucking our kids into bed makes her look like a garbage fire of a parent. Or maybe, just maybe, she's finally figured out that every time she posts, she's just handing me free ammo to take to my lawyer. Now, let me be clear, I don't actually want to take away her visitation rights. Hell, I actually want her to see the kids. Shocking, I know. Don't get me wrong, I still dislike Ariana. What she did, still unforgivable. But I don't quite hate her with the same fiery passion I used to. It's like I've graduated from wishing her Wi-Fi dies forever to just rolling my eyes and pouring another coffee. I've reached the stage where I'm ready to be an adult, ready to cooperate, ready to say, fine, let's do this for the kids. Only problem? She's not showing up, and it's really starting to mess with them. I don't like it, but I'm honestly considering taking this whole mess to my lawyer. Because here's the truth, not seeing their mom would hurt them, sure, but watching her flake out, stand them up, and show up once in a blue moon, that's probably even more damaging to them. The kids have been improving, though let me tell you, it's been about as quick as watching grass grow in the shade. I finally had to admit I couldn't get them adjusted to the new family circus on my own. So, I waved the white flag and brought them to a child therapist who specializes in divorce. Guy's worth every penny. The difference has been night and day. He helped them see that our family has changed, and, newsflash, it wasn't their fault. Shocking, I know. He even gave me tips on handling the kids' feelings. Because apparently, saying, you'll be fine isn't therapy. Who knew? Anyway, our home finally started feeling healthier. Less screaming, fewer tears, some of them even not mine. Just when we were finding our groove again, guess who pops up on my phone? Ariana. Yeah, her. We don't talk much these days. Mostly it's her firing off excuses about why she can't come see the kids. I could probably make a bingo card out of them. Car trouble. Work called me in. My aura's not aligned today. But this text was different. She told me she was sorry for missing visits, and that she was going to do better. Right. Because nothing says reliability like an unprompted apology from the Queen of Flake. I texted back, I'm not the one you need to apologize to. You didn't miss me. You missed them. They're the ones you've been hurting. She replied, I know. I promise I'll do better. And I said, then don't tell me. Show up. And by the way, if you're planning on disappearing again, do us all a favor. Don't bother coming back at all. The kids are finally healing, and I won't let you hit reset on their progress just because you felt like brunch instead. She swore she'd stick to her visitation schedule. I didn't even waste a thumb cramp texting back. But here's the kicker. She actually showed up. I almost fell out of my chair. The kids were happy, sure, but it was this weird, cautious happiness. Like they were waiting for her to vanish in a puff of smoke. Their smiles said, yay, mommy's here. But their eyes whispered, she won't be back the next time. She surprised us all again and again. Ariana was actually making an effort now. I mean, shocking, right? The woman who used to think parenting meant FaceTiming from Cabo was suddenly showing up. Consistently. Like clockwork. She was present and active with the kids, not just doing the take a selfie and leave routine. And the kids loved it. They lit up when she came around, which, fine, I'll admit, made me glad too. I wondered what had changed, but I didn't bother to ask. It wasn't my business anymore. As long as she showed up and the kids were happy, then I was happy. Or at least, happy adjacent. Still, I wasn't about to start braiding friendship bracelets with Ariana. No way. Not after what she did to us. So I kept our interactions professional. Strictly kid-related topics. Bedtimes, lunchboxes, who flushed a toy down the toilet. That was our lane, and I was sticking to it. But then she started drifting. Going off script. Asking how my day was. How work was going. Whether I'd started dating again. Yeah, that one. I looked at her like, lady, you lost the right to care when you packed your bags and went YTHLO with party boy. But instead of saying that, I just gave her the service level answers. Real beige responses. She wanted steak. I gave her stale crackers. One evening, after the kids had gone to bed, she lingered. Like a bad smell. Clearly, she wanted to say something, but she was hesitating. Which for Ariana was unusual. Normally, she just blurts things out like a cat coughing up a hairball. Finally, she said it. I broke up with my boyfriend. I stared at her. My brain was like, congratulations? Condolences? Do I send a card? Instead, I just nodded. Neutral. Switzerland. She kept going. Because of course she did. At first, it felt like I was living the life I'd been missing out on, she said. We traveled. We partied. Stayed up late. I almost asked if she wanted a merit badge for basic college experience at age 30. But I didn't. Eventually it got old, she continued. All he wanted to do was party. And it was starting to get old to me. No kidding, I thought. Hard to live your best life when your liver's filing for divorce. Then she got this wistful look, all dramatic, like she was auditioning for a soap opera. I felt like something was missing, she said softly. And then I realized I was starting to miss my family. Uh-huh, sure. Family suddenly looks good when the club lights are harsh and the hangovers are brutal. She glanced at me. I miss the kids. That part hit different. Okay, fair. She wasn't lying. Then she added, almost whispering, I even missed you. Her voice choked up, but she didn't cry. I didn't offer any comfort. Not even a pat on the back or one of those awkward there's. She sat there, wringing her hands, looking like a kicked puppy, and said she was scared to leave him because she'd blown through most of her money on their little whirlwind of partying and traveling. My eyes just about bugged out of my head. Hold on, I said, leaning back in my chair. That money? The buyout money? The money from me having to basically ransom my own house back from you? That money. She gave this tiny nod, like she was a kid confessing she ate a cookie before dinner. I actually laughed. Couldn't help it. You've got to be kidding me. That wasn't even that much cash, and you managed to torch it? You should get a medal in financial incompetence. What did you spend it on? Solid gold margaritas? She frowned, but didn't answer. I guess. I blew it on tequila shots and Instagram-worthy vacations. Didn't sound all that noble in the moment. Anyway, she went on about how she broke up with him because the relationship felt shallow. No kidding. I never would have guessed. Then she told me she was trying to get back on her feet, new job, living with her mom. Apparently, her mom was helping, but also lecturing her daily like she was still 15. And that's when the waterworks started. She actually started crying, which I swear is her go-to move whenever she realizes her excuses sound insane. She said she'd disappointed everyone, her mom, me, the kids, and she wanted to make it right. I raised an eyebrow. And how exactly do you plan on pulling that off? Juggling lessons? Bake sale? She sniffled, looked me dead in the eye, and said, by asking if you could give me one more chance. I shook my head immediately. Nope, absolutely not. But she jumped in before I could even get rolling. I know. I'd have to earn your trust back. I know it would take a long time. I'm not expecting you to marry me right away, or even at all. I just want us to give it one more try. I shook my head again, slower this time, like I was explaining algebra to a toddler. You're already getting your second chance. Her eyes lit up for half a second, until I clarified. At being a mother. That's it. Honestly, I'd planned to have your visitation revoked. I had the paperwork sitting there. But then I thought of the kids, and I couldn't do it. Because, unlike you, I don't actually enjoy traumatizing them. Her mouth opened, probably to argue, but I cut her off. You've already hurt them too much for me to even consider forgiving you. And let me be crystal clear, I still can't stand the sight of you. The only reason I'm civil is for their sake. And that's where I stopped. Because if I said one more thing, I probably would have told her to thank the kids for keeping her in the game. She tried one last time, her voice all soft and trembling like she was auditioning for a soap opera. Can't we just do it for them? She said, gesturing vaguely toward the kids' bedrooms like she'd just invented the concept of parenting. That was it. I lost it. And the only reason I didn't raise my voice was because the kids were asleep, and I wasn't about to ruin bedtime peace just because she decided to remember she had a maternal instinct. Do it for them. I hissed. You mean the same them you ditched so you could play house with Mr. Midlife Crisis and skinny jeans? She opened her mouth like she wanted to protest, but I wasn't finished. You don't get to just waltz back in here, bat your eyes, and act like you've had the kids' best interests at heart this whole time. Newsflash, those little people in there? I'm the one who's been holding them together. I'm the one who's been cleaning up the emotional demolition site you left behind. She sniffled, probably gearing up for round 2 of the waterworks. I put a hand up. Nope. Save it. You had your chance to play the role of caring mom, but you decided Cancun and cocktails were a better gig. So now I get to be both mom and dad. Lucky me. But let's not kid ourselves. You've already done enough damage for a lifetime. I stood up, pointed to the door, and said, time to go. And from now on, when the kids are asleep, you leave too. We're not doing these little late-night therapy sessions anymore. You want to cry? Cry in the car. She stared at me like she thought I might cave, but apparently she's just smart enough to read a room. Finally, she left quietly, still crying, like a sad contestant who didn't get the rose. And yeah, I'll give her this much. She's been regular with her visits since then. I'll give her a gold star for punctuality. But she hasn't brought up the whole, let's get back together thing again. Probably realized I wasn't bluffing when I said I couldn't even stand the sight of her. Do I think I'll ever forgive her? Not a chance. And honestly, I think she's finally starting to get the picture. But if she ever tries her luck again, I won't hesitate to remind her, loudly and in full color, exactly what kind of wreckage she left behind, and how I had to step up to protect them. Dear listeners, please share your thoughts in the comments section below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.